Welcome to Inner Psychology. Every new connection begins with a physiological spike of dopamine that makes everything feel sharp, exciting, and full of possibility. In those early days, the rhythm is effortless. Replies are fast, the energy is high, and every conversation feels genuinely engaging. Eventually, the momentum stalls. Responses take hours instead of minutes. You feel a distinct drop in their enthusiasm, even if you can't quite articulate why. This shift usually triggers an internal monologue of doubt. You scan past texts and replay conversations, searching for the specific mistake that ruined the connection. This experience is rarely a sudden binary rejection of you as a person. Interest usually erodes over time. It fades so quietly that most people miss the warning signs until the connection has already flatlined. The other person is reacting to a shift in the emotional experience of the relationship. A dynamic that used to be light and balanced has become heavy and erratic. The first phase of this decline is the loss of novelty. The human brain requires a degree of uncertainty to generate curiosity. Interest starves when you become entirely predictable. By being always available and always responding in the same way, you transform from a mystery into a motionless, known entity. Without new psychological stimuli to process, the other person's curiosity naturally begins to fade. This distance often triggers the second phase, the pressure cooker. Your attachment shifts into a state of heightened anxiety. You start providing instant replies, overanalyzing every text, and actively seeking validation to soothe your own insecurity. These behaviors translate into a palpable pressure. You are suffocating the natural space of the interaction and turning a connection into a heavy obligation. The attempt to secure the relationship is exactly what makes the interaction feel like work for the other person. This leads to the third phase, the broken scale. Chasing a person's interest actually accelerates its disappearance. This chart illustrates the inverse relationship between availability and value. When your emotional availability approaches 100%, your attention loses perceived value. Attraction thrives on mutual energy. If you continue to invest while the other person withdraws, the equilibrium breaks and interest declines further. This imbalance eventually results in the fourth phase, the abandoned self. You shift your life's focal point entirely onto the other person. You begin modifying your behavior and compromising your boundaries solely to win their approval. This constant self-modification results in a faceless reflection. You have systematically erased your unique identity. By erasing who you are to please someone else, you destroy the specific traits that originally sparked the attraction. The decline in interest focuses on the specific persona that emerged during the fade. The other person is withdrawing from a version of you that became reactive, hyper-available, and dependent. Attraction is a byproduct of a strong, grounded presence. It cannot be built on a foundation of emotional need. Resetting this dynamic requires a total rebalancing of your personal energy. This is a move towards self-worth, quite separate from manufactured dating games. Reclaiming your baseline begins with a shift in focus. Redirect your mental energy back to your own goals, your work, and your personal life. And creating space is the next requirement. Emotional space is the only mechanism that allows the other person to perceive your value again. Authenticity is the primary driver of real connection. You must maintain your identity, rather than bending it to fit a perceived mold. Letting go and returning to yourself is what preserves a connection. Tightening your grip only forces the interest to fade faster.